Hi, this is a video that is long overdue. Um, I've been encouraged to make this video a while ago, but I've only just got around to making it, which is not good on my part. Anyway, back in July last year, Peter was talking about being sent, surrendering our will and being sent, being obedient to the Holy Spirit. In the following August, I was preparing to go to New Zealand to see my mum. It was her 91st birthday, and Joshua and I were going across to spend time with my mum. Now we're going to spend 2 weeks over there. And before we went, I felt to ask that I be sent. I didn't want to just go for a holiday and have a great time and not see any impact, have any impact on my family. So I asked that I be sent, or that we be sent, and that we might be able to have an impartation we might have an impartation for my family. Now, I was going over for 2 weeks, and I was staying with my sister at her house and her husband. We arrived, and within 2 days, tensions in the household between myself and my sister were such that I had to move out. I went to stay with my cousin, and I had to ask the question. I'm going, Lord, what is happening here? I've asked to be sent. I believe you've sent me across here to minister to my family, to shine the light to my family. And 2 days in, I'm already I'm already having trouble and having conflict in the family. And I'm thinking, this is not what I'm here for. So anyway, I've moved out to my my cousin's house, and I was coming up to Saturday, so he asked if we'd like to go to the Saturday markets, which was in the car park and the farmers markets. And I thought, oh yeah, sure, that'll be great. So we went to the markets, had a look around there, and we were about to leave, and he says, just hang on a minute, before we leave, there's a woman over there that I believe you know. Do you want to come and say hello? So I thought, why not? We'll go and say hello. So he took me around to see this lady, and he introduced us. Her name was Etta, and I didn't know her from a bar of soap. She didn't know me, and we were chatting away, and she's just explaining that they had their stall there. They're selling the products that they were selling. And my cousin says to her, so what's your last name? He says, I can't remember your last name. He says, my last name is Noble. Now, I had served in the army with a guy with the last name Noble. So I looked at her and I says, is your brother Jacko? And she went, yes, that's Jacko. And I says, I was in the army with your brother. She went, oh, wow. And I asked her, how's he doing? And she turned over this piece of paper that she had in her hand, and she showed it to me. She says, we're actually in the middle of preparing for his funeral. And she showed me all the details on the piece of paper that she had. And I've just gone, whoa, that's not cool. And I just thought, wow, I said, I didn't know. And she basically just looked at me. I hadn't said anything about being a Christian or knowing God at all. And she just looked straight at me and says, God has brought you here for this. He sent you here for this. And I just, the chills just went right up my back. And she spoke to me about how he needed to know Christ. And she was kept on repeating to me, God sent you here for this. And I was going, wow, Lord, here I am thinking I'm coming to minister to my family, but no, it's not. It's to a friend I actually haven't seen in years, and I mean years. So cut my holiday short and back home by a day. And Joshua and I drove up to Auckland to see my friend, who I found out now is preparing for his funeral. We met up with another ex-army friend in Auckland at his house, and we drove from his house across the other side of Auckland to see my friend, and some other ex-army friends met us there as well. So we're sitting in the lounge room talking and catching up on old stories, and we're all telling our old warry stories, what we used to get up to in the old days. I'm glad they didn't share any stories about me while my son was sitting there, because that would have been a bit awkward. But while they're sharing stories, I'm inside my head, I'm thinking, God, how do I bring you into this conversation? How do I break the ice? Because here we are talking about old stuff that we used to do and having a laugh, and then one of them out of the blue says, "Oh, do you know so and so? He's become a pastor." And someone else says, "Oh yeah, also so and so, he's also become a pastor." And I just saw that as my opening, and I quickly jumped in very quickly, and I said, "Well, actually, I kind of do pastoring work in Kalgoorlie as well." And all the head, they all just stopped talking and all looked at me and went like, "What?" And so my friend, who is he's very ill, he just turned around to me and says, "My friend so and so has told me I need to do this, and then I need to do this, and I need to do this to get to heaven. If I don't do those things, I'm going to hell. Is that right?" And I just looked at him and I thought, "No, that's not right." He goes, "I didn't think so." So it was quite interesting that I was able to now speak to my friend about knowing Jesus. And here's my army friends who knew me at the worst of my days, in the worst of my, they knew me at my worst. So, and I am now here talking to them about Christ and what Christ did for us on the cross, and how to come to know him. And I was able to minister to him over the next few weeks by phone when I got back to Australia, about Jesus and coming to know him and sharing with him that the ultimate goal, because he was concerned about not going to hell, he wanted to go to heaven. So, and I shared with him, the aim of this is not to go to heaven. And he was quite shocked. He was going, it's not. I went, "No, it's not. It's about knowing the Father." And so we spoke through that, and I was able to minister him up until he died. Probably would have been a month later, he passed away. And I wasn't able to go back for his service, but that realization of being sent is huge. Thinking God has got it this way, or God's going to work through me this way to these people. But he had a whole new plan, and he wanted me to go to the one. And I thought that was so amazing that I was able to be used by him. And I just really want to encourage people to follow and to be available, to be able to be sent. And that's why I'm sitting here with, hopefully I've aimed the camera right and the words behind me are visible. To welcome the King of Glory, for he is about to come through you. And I believe that's very good, very important in today's times, to be open and ready and available, to be prepared for the King of Glory to come through you. Thanks for watching.